What's up? It's Sharif Dyson with Splurge.com, SPLURJJ.com. And today, what I'm here to talk about with you is about expectations, standards, and preferences. Okay, we're going to start off with standards. People set high and low standards for themselves that sometimes they don't attain or they're unable to get because they don't have preference involved in it. See, a standard is just a level, it's basically average. It's a level of attainment of quality that it's set at that's norm. If you add preference to your standards, what you then have is a liking over another standard, something that you want to attain, but there's an A and B that's going to be involved. And if you're like me, myself, you're going to go for A. So there's a higher preference that you want versus one over the other. So you have to set standards for yourself, but you always have to have a preference of what you prefer, the preferable choice by yourself. And that's how you're going to help build and gain the lifestyle that you actually want to live. So you're not living anyone else's life, and you're not living by anybody else's standards, the average, the norm of what a person thinks for themselves. And the expectation of it all, when expectation comes in line with your standards and the preferences that you have, is that you believe highly in it, that it will occur. That is, that you're going after whatever that you're trying to attain, whatever that you're trying to grasp, that you will get it and you will get there. That no matter how hard the struggle, how hard the suffering, how hard the pain, how hard it is, that you will get there and you will make it. So again, we have standards, preferences, and expectations. Now, you may be around people who think very poor of themselves. Their judgment is based off of everything that they've never accomplished, everything that they never achieved, and goals that they never set. So they're always going to try to weaken your expectations, lower your standards, and tell you that your preferences are too high, you're too sedated, you think too high. Don't believe them. It's bullshit. They're lost, they're stuck, and they need to get out of their comfort zone because they're too comfortable and they're not willing to even budge or push at the threshold. So they'll never reach the threshold. Now, those that don't set high standards for themselves and they don't expect much out of themselves, they're not going to have preferences. They're going to be okay with what's given to them, the basics. They get the basic package. It doesn't come with much, and that's cool. They go on a cruise. They're in the bottom. They don't care where they're at in the ship. They don't want any balcony. They don't want to see outside. They're cool with what they have, and that's all they work for. And I don't have anything against those people. When you have high expectations of yourself, when you set higher standards, and when you have preferences, in life, we all have choices. We all have options, and that's what you're going to do. When you open up yourself to standards, expectations, and preferences, you open up yourself to more options. More options out of life means more play, more fun, more good times versus bad times. So if you choose to have lobster or steak and lobster or chicken and lobster that night, you can have it. You have to have these high expectations and set standards for yourself versus just eating ramen noodles every night. Like, we've all been there, but who wants to do that for their entire life and kill themselves off of eating ramen noodles because they never set high expectations? They've never set a standard and said, okay, this is the only year that I'm going to do this, and once I get past this level, then I'll push to get to a level where I'm now eating Barilla spaghetti out the box. You have to push yourself. You have to set these expectations and these standards and have preferences, so then that way you can get and reach these goals. If you don't, you'll always stay average. No one wants to be average. You want to be great, so you have to push for it in order to achieve these goals. What I would like you to do is push yourself. I don't want you to quit. I don't want you to give up. I want you to set yourself with higher standards. I want you to push yourself, have high expectations of yourself, and I want you to give yourself preferences in life. Don't ever settle, because when you settle, you end up in places that you don't want to be in. You end up with people that you don't want around you. You end up with friends that are not good for you. So you always push yourself to that next level. Who wants to play a video game and stay on the same level forever? There's level 1, level 2. You want to win. You want to win. You want to win. And in order to win, you have to set these higher standards. You have to have high expectations of yourself, and you have to have preferences. And if you don't, you'll always stay on level 1. Always have a preference of what you're going after. Yeah, there's an associate's degree. Yeah, there's a bachelor's degree. Yeah, there's a master's degree. But what do you prefer? You prefer do you prefer a master's degree? Then that's what you go after. You set a high expectation to attain it because you don't want to set a low standard that you'll never reach and you'll never have. So you have to have a preference over everything in life. Don't allow people to confuse you and tell you and teach you that, oh, you set your standards, be thankful for these things and appreciate these. Yes, you do, but you don't have to appreciate living in the worst parts of the neighborhood if you prefer to live in better areas. So you have to have preferences in place in order for your standards. In order to meet your standards and your expectations, your high expectations, you need to have a preference in place in order to meet that standard of your high expectations. These are the 3 tools that you need in your life in order to meet that high quality lifestyle that you do want to live. All right, this is Sharif Dyson again with SPLURJJ.com, splurge.com. Visit us. I'm out. Peace.